Late autumn settles softly over Madison, the kind of afternoon where the air smells like damp leaves and unfinished goodbyes. In the yard behind a modest house, a small gray and white cat waits. He has no name yet. He only knows patterns, the warmth that leaks through the walls, the way footsteps pause near the door, the rhythm of a place that feels broken but still breathing. From where he sits, curled near a dying patch of grass, he watches the house the way animals do, not with expectation, but with attention. Inside, Lily stands with her shoulders tight and her voice sharper than she intends. She has already made up her mind. The words come out fast, carrying weeks of bottled anger and a fragile hope she does not want to admit. She wants to keep the cat. She wants something to stay, something that doesn't disappear the way everything else has since her father died. The request is small, almost reasonable, but the weight behind it is anything but. Claire answers without raising her voice. Her refusal is calm, tired, and unmistakably final. She lists practical reasons, the kind adults use when they are afraid of feelings they cannot control. It isn't the right time. It isn't safe. It isn't possible. Each word lands like a closed window. Claire believes she is protecting what little stability remains. She does not see how much distance her calm creates. The tension between them rises quietly, like cold seeping into the house. Lily's jaw tightens. Her hands curl into fists she quickly hides. She hears not just a no, but a reminder that nothing new is allowed to enter this space. Not animals, not chaos, not love that might hurt again. The argument does not explode. It doesn't need to. The silence that follows is louder than shouting. Outside, the cat senses the shift without understanding the language. He notices the change in Lily's movements, the heaviness in Claire's posture. He feels the door remain shut. To him, rejection is not a word. It is a familiar shape, a boundary, a line that does not move. He has seen it before in other places, other yards. Still, he does not run. The door stays closed. It becomes more than wood and paint. It is a decision made out of fear. It separates warmth from cold, belonging from waiting. The cat stares at it for a long moment, then settles back down. He does not cry. He does not scratch. He simply chooses to remain nearby, as if patience itself might be a language the house could eventually understand. Inside, Lily turns away, already retreating into herself. Claire stands alone with her thoughts, unaware that something important has just been denied, not only to the girl, but to the fragile possibility of change. Outside, the cat curls tighter against the cooling ground. He waits because leaving would mean nothing. Waiting at least keeps the door in sight. If you can, stay with this moment. Stay long enough to see what happens when a cat waits instead of walking away. Oliver remains near the house, unaware that this quiet place will soon define his days. Oliver has lived long enough to understand patterns, even if he does not name them. Hunger comes, then goes. Warmth appears briefly and vanishes. Doors open for some, never for others. He learned early that humans move through grief the way weather moves through seasons, unpredictable, quiet, and absolute. Before this yard, before this house, there were others. Porches where he slept until morning chased him away. Alleys that smelled of rain and old food. Hands that reached down once and never returned. Abandonment did not arrive as a single moment. It unfolded slowly, like a thread pulled loose. First, the familiar steps stopped coming. Then the bowl stayed empty. Then the night came earlier than expected. Oliver learned not to chase what was already gone. He learned to watch instead. Watching is his gift. From the yard, he studies the house the way one studies fire. Carefully, from a distance. He notices that the windows glow warmer in the early evening, then dim again, as if the house itself exhales. He notices the tension inside not through sound, but through movement. The way footsteps hesitate, the way doors close gently instead of freely. Warmth lives there, but it is guarded. At night, when the temperature drops and the ground stiffens beneath him, Oliver curls tighter and listens. He cannot hear words, but he hears emotions. A chair scraping too hard against the floor, a sigh that lingers. Silence that feels heavy, not peaceful. This is not a loud house. It is a careful one. The girl appears first in his awareness because she moves like someone who doesn't quite belong in her own body. Lily walks fast, shoulders forward, eyes sharp. When she steps into the yard, Oliver does not retreat. He senses her before he sees her, the restless energy, the sadness that smells faintly of anger. She looks at him as if she is afraid he might disappear if she blinks. Their first exchanges are quiet. No grabbing hands, no sudden movements. She sits on the steps sometimes, knees pulled to her chest, pretending not to look at him while very clearly watching every twitch of his tail. Oliver understands this language. It is the language of wanting without demanding. The woman comes next, though Oliver notices her differently. Claire moves through the house on a schedule that does not bend. Morning routines, evening routines, lights off at the same time every night. She carries herself like someone holding something fragile inside her chest, careful not to drop it. When she opens the door, it is only for necessities. Groceries, trash, obligations, never for him. Oliver feels her restraint the way animals feel storms before they arrive. It is not unkind. It is controlled. The kind of distance built to survive. There is someone missing. Oliver knows this without knowing how. The house has an empty shape in it, like a spot on the couch no one uses, like a silence that arrives too early in conversations. Sometimes Lily stares at nothing at all, her face going distant in a way Oliver recognizes. Sometimes Claire pauses in the doorway, hand still on the frame, as if expecting someone to speak from another room. No one ever does. The absence presses against the house, shaping everything inside it. As autumn deepens, the days shorten. The air grows sharper. Leaves collect in corners and against fences, trapped and forgotten. Oliver's nights become colder, longer. His body aches in places he cannot name. Still, he stays. Not because he expects kindness, but because this place feels unfinished, like something is still deciding whether to leave or stay. Each day, Lily comes back, always cautious, always quiet. Sometimes she brings food wrapped in napkins. Sometimes a shallow bowl of water she places carefully, as if afraid to cross an invisible line. She never tells him to leave. She never tells him to stay. She just shows up. Oliver does not know it yet, but this routine, this small, stubborn kindness, is already changing the shape of the house. And as the nights grow colder, he begins to understand something new. Lily returns every day, and she never comes empty-handed. Oliver learns Lily's footsteps before he learns her face. The rhythm is unmistakable, too fast, slightly uneven, like someone always arriving late to her own life. He hears her gate creak at the same hour each afternoon, feels the vibration of it through the ground, and lifts his head before she appears. This is not hope. It is recognition. She never calls him. Instead, she kneels, places food down carefully, and pushes it a little closer each day. A ritual. Water in a shallow bowl, a piece of cardboard flattened against the fence. Later, a box. Creased, imperfect, smelling faintly of something sweet. She lines it with an old scarf, her hands lingering as if she's unsure whether she's allowed to make things better. Lily does this quietly, always glancing at the house, the windows, the door. She moves like someone who expects to be stopped. Oliver understands secrecy. He understands survival. At school, Lily is becoming a problem. Teachers use words like defiant and disruptive. She talks back. She leaves class without permission. She doesn't cry when reprimanded, which somehow makes it worse. Anger follows her like a shadow she cannot outrun. No one sees that it is grief wearing armor. By the time she returns home, that armor is heavy. In the yard, she exhales. She sits cross-legged on the cold ground and tells Oliver nothing important. Complaints about teachers, about classmates, about how the world keeps asking her to explain herself. Oliver listens the way cats do, not with answers, but with presence. He does not try to fix her. He does not leave. Affection comes later, much later. At first, Oliver does not allow touch. He accepts food, water, shelter. That is enough. Lily learns this quickly. She does not push. She understands boundaries instinctively because her own have been crossed too many times. She talks to him without expecting anything back. Some days she says nothing at all. What binds them is not closeness. It is consistency. Oliver waits. Lily returns. Every day. As the weeks pass, the yard becomes theirs, a fragile territory shaped by routine. Fallen leaves pile against the fence. The cardboard shelter shifts slightly in the wind, but it holds. Oliver curls inside it on colder nights, his body warming the space Lily made for him. He begins to sleep more deeply. His coat loses some of its dullness. His eyes soften. He does not know why this girl shows up every day. He only knows that she does. In her, he senses something familiar, the quiet knowledge of being left behind, the unspoken understanding that love can disappear without warning. They do not name it, they share it. Lily starts structuring her afternoons around him. She rushes home, she skips plans, she guards this time fiercely. It becomes the only place where she is not performing, not fighting, not proving anything. With Oliver, she is simply present. Sometimes she laughs. It surprises them both. From the yard, Oliver notices changes in Lily before anyone else does. Her shoulders lower. Her voice softens. The anger does not vanish, but it loosens its grip. She learns patience by waiting for him to trust her. She learns gentleness by watching him flinch less each day. Inside the house, life continues as if untouched. Dinner at the same hour. Dishes washed immediately. Silence where conversation used to live. Claire does not see the cardboard box at first. Or if she does not allow herself to register it. But Oliver notices Claire noticing Lily. The way she pauses when Lily comes in later than usual. The way she studies the dirt on her daughter's knees. The way she listens for something she cannot hear. Change makes people uneasy, especially when they didn't choose it. The yard, meanwhile, holds its breath. Oliver has learned many things in his short life. How to endure hunger, how to read danger, how to disappear when necessary. What he is learning now is different. He is learning what it feels like to be waited for, to be counted on, to be part of something unfinished. And from inside the house, behind glass and routine, Claire begins to notice changes she doesn't understand. Claire notices things the way exhausted people do, out of the corner of her eye, without invitation. She notices Lily coming home earlier, notices the slammed doors have softened into careful closures, notices fewer calls from the school, fewer emails marked urgent. These changes do not bring relief. They bring suspicion. Because calm, in Claire's world, has always been temporary. Grief taught her that. Since her husband died, Claire has learned how to function without feeling, how to move through days like a checklist. Wake up, coffee, work, dinner, silence, sleep. She keeps her emotions small, manageable, like fragile objects wrapped in cloth and stored away where they can't break her again. Attachment feels dangerous now. like something that asks too much and leaves too suddenly. So when she senses something shifting in Lily, something gentle, something fragile, Claire resists the urge to name it. Naming things makes them real. Real things can be lost. From the kitchen window, she sees Lily in the yard more often, sitting on the ground, talking to someone who isn't there. At first, Claire thinks it's another phase, another rebellion, another way of pulling away. Then she sees the cat. Not clearly, not all at once. Just a shape near the fence, a flicker of movement, eyes catching light at dusk. An unspoken presence that settles into the edges of her vision. Claire tells herself it's temporary. Strays pass through. They always do, but this one stays. The nights grow colder. Autumn deepens its grip. The air sharpens. Leaves rot where they fall. Claire pulls her coat tighter when she takes the trash out. She thinks of all the things that don't survive winter. She doesn't let herself think of the cat. Inside, Lily is quieter. Not withdrawn, just softer. She eats more. She sleeps better. She doesn't challenge every sentence. Claire should be grateful. Instead, unease curls in her chest, because improvement suggests hope. And hope is what grief punishes first. Claire begins to notice the details she's been avoiding. The way Lily's hands smell faintly of cardboard and cold air. The way her boots are always muddy on one side. The way she checks the window before bed, just once, like a reflex she can't control. Claire understands that reflex more than she wants to admit. She remembers the nights after the funeral, standing at the same window, waiting for nothing, listening to the house settle around her, the unbearable weight of silence pressing against her ribs. She had promised herself she would never open that door again, not to hope, not to need, not to love something that could disappear. The cat complicates that promise. She doesn't speak his presence aloud. She doesn't forbid Lily from going into the yard again. She simply watches, from a distance, from behind glass and restraint. Safety, she tells herself, is distance. Care is dangerous. Outside, Oliver survives. He curls tighter into the cardboard box Lily has reinforced with towels she stole from the laundry room. He learns which nights the wind bites harder, which sounds mean trouble, which hours bring quiet. Hunger still comes, but less fiercely. Cold still comes, but not alone. Cats are experts at endurance. Oliver does not expect warmth. He accepts it when it appears. Some nights, Lily sneaks out with extra food. Some nights, she just sits nearby, wrapped in her jacket, sharing the cold without touching him. Oliver watches her breath fog the air. He understands companionship in this language. Claire watches too. One evening, she wakes from the couch to silence so deep it feels wrong. She checks the clock. Lily isn't home yet. Panic flickers, sharp, unwanted. She pulls on a sweater and moves to the window. The yard is silvered with frost. Lily is there, kneeling beside the fence, her breath shaking, and in the box, small, still, impossibly fragile. Oliver is curled so tightly, he looks like a shadow. Something cracks, not loudly, not all at once, just enough to let the cold in. Claire realizes, with sudden clarity, that safety without care is just another kind of loss. That protecting her heart has cost her more than she admits. That this small, silent creature has been surviving her fear, night after night. And on this particularly cold evening, Claire is forced to look closer than she ever has. Oliver does not leave. The cold sharpens. Frost laces the grass in the mornings. The wind cuts through the yard like a quiet threat. And still, Oliver stays curled near the house, as if proximity alone is a kind of warmth. As if choosing to remain is his answer to a question no one has dared to ask out loud. He could go. Cats always can. There are warmer places, easier places. But Oliver has learned something here, something fragile and rare. He has learned the rhythm of Lily's footsteps, the sound of the back door opening just enough, the careful way food appears, even on nights when the sky feels cruel. Lily worries in ways she doesn't have words for. She checks the weather more often now, pulls extra sweaters from drawers she hasn't touched since before everything fell apart. She sits beside the cardboard shelter longer, her knees tucked to her chest, whispering things she would never say inside the house. "I'm trying," she tells him once, her voice barely sound. Oliver doesn't understand the words. He understands the tone. Worry has softened her, made her quieter, yes, but also steadier. There is purpose in her movements now, responsibility, care, the kind that asks you to show up even when you're tired, even when you're angry, even when no one thanks you. Claire sees it. Not in one moment, but in many small ones that gather weight. She sees Lily's hands tremble as she pours water, careful not to spill. Sees her shield Oliver from the wind with her own body. Sees the way she waits until he finishes eating before standing, as if leaving too soon would be a betrayal. Claire witnesses Lily's care firsthand one evening when she forgets to turn away from the window. Lily doesn't know she's being watched. That matters. There is no performance in what she does, no defiance, no rebellion, just quiet devotion. Claire feels something tighten in her chest. Not fear this time, but recognition. This is what healing looks like, she realizes. Not loud apologies, not sudden joy, but consistency. Showing up, choosing to stay. The house feels emptier by comparison. Inside, everything is clean and untouched. The couch where her husband used to nap remains unused. The hallway echoes. The silence that once felt protective now feels hollow. Claire moves through rooms that no longer ask anything of her, and for the first time, she wonders if that is the problem. She thinks about the night she said no, how calm she sounded, how final, how convinced she was that refusal was an act of love, safety, control. She told herself she was protecting Lily from pain, from loss, from another thing that could leave. But watching Lily now, curled in the cold beside something that has already been left, Claire understands the flaw in that logic. Pain avoided is not the same as pain healed. The arguments stop without announcement. There are no more slammed doors. No sharp words, no raised voices echoing down the hallway. Instead, there is silence of a different kind. One that waits. One that listens. Claire and Lily pass each other in the kitchen with small nods. Neutral ground. A truce neither of them names. At night, Claire lies awake and listens. Not for Lily's music. Not for footsteps. For the wind. For the imagined sound of something small shifting outside. She thinks of Oliver's body pressed against cold earth. Thinks of how long winter lasts. Thinks of how long grief does. She remembers holding her husband's hand in the hospital room. How helpless she felt. How staying had been the only thing she could do. How love, in the end, was simply not leaving. Oliver survives another night. So does Lily. And something in Claire begins to thaw, not into hope yet, but into question. She starts asking herself things she's avoided for months. What does protection really mean? What kind of mother does Lily need now? Not the one before the loss, but the one after. The cold keeps coming. It settles deeper into the ground, into bones, into decisions that can no longer be postponed. And Claire realizes, with a quiet certainty that startles her, that watching from behind glass will soon become a choice she cannot justify. The cold reaches a point where watching is no longer enough. Claire has always believed that control was a form of love. After her husband died, control became her language. If she kept the house quiet, if she kept emotions contained, if she kept doors closed, maybe nothing else would fall apart. Maybe loss, once endured, could be prevented from repeating itself. But grief does not negotiate. It waits. On this night, Claire stands alone in the kitchen, long after Lily has gone to bed. The clock hums. The refrigerator clicks. The house feels like it's holding its breath. Outside, the wind presses against the walls, insistent, as if reminding her that the world does not stop just because she wishes it would. She thinks of her husband, not in fragments this time, not in sharp flashes of pain, but whole. She remembers how he used to kneel to Lily's level when she cried, how he let things be messy, how he believed that love meant letting life in, even when it hurt. Especially when it hurt, Claire presses her palm against the counter, steadying herself. Avoidance, she realizes, hasn't protected anyone. Not Lily, not herself. It has only delayed the ache, stretched it thin across months of silence and misunderstandings. She thought she was keeping her daughter safe from attachment, from heartbreak. But all she's done is teach her how to endure it alone. Outside, Oliver waits. He does not cry. He does not scratch at the door. He does not beg. He sits where he always does, curled into himself, conserving warmth, trusting something he cannot name. His patience is not hopeful or desperate. It simply is. A presence without demand. A being that has learned survival not through force, but through staying. Claire watches him through the glass. For a moment, she imagines what Lily sees when she looks at him. Not a burden, not a risk, but proof that something abandoned can still choose connection, that something small can survive and still be gentle. Lily's hope is careful. Claire has noticed that too. The way Lily never asks again, the way she doesn't bring Oliver up at dinner, the way her hope exists only in quiet gestures, as if speaking it aloud might make it disappear. It's hope held in restraint, learned restraint. Claire feels the weight of that lesson settle heavily in her chest. She moves toward the door. Her hand hovers over the handle, then pulls back. She thinks of responsibility, of vet bills, of scratches on furniture, of another living thing depending on her, of the unbearable possibility of loving and losing again. The door is not just a door. It is a line between who she has been since the loss and who she might have to become. Between safety and care. Between control and trust. Opening it feels like admitting that grief has not made her stronger, only smaller. Her husband's voice surfaces in her memory, gentle and infuriating in its calm. "You don't protect people by closing the world off," he once said. "You protect them by standing with them in it." Claire closes her eyes. When she opens them again, she notices something she hadn't before. The way Oliver's ears twitch at the faintest sound from inside. The way he looks up. Not hopeful, not fearful, just attentive. As if he has always known that waiting is sometimes enough. She takes a breath. Then another. Her hand grips the handle. The sound of the door opening is almost inaudible. No dramatic rush of air, no sudden transformation, just a quiet shift, like a thought finally allowed to finish forming. Oliver looks up. He does not move. Claire steps back, leaving space. She doesn't call to him, doesn't crouch, doesn't promise anything she isn't ready to give. She simply opens the boundary and lets the moment exist as it is. Inside the house, the air feels different. Not warmer yet. Not lighter. Just changed. Lily watches from the hallway, unseen. She doesn't run forward. Doesn't speak. She presses her hand to the wall, steadying herself, afraid to hope too loudly. Afraid that this too could vanish if she breathes wrong. Nothing changes all at once. Oliver does not rush in. Claire does not suddenly become whole. Lily does not smile. The grief does not lift. The house does not heal in a single breath. But the door is open. And sometimes, that is where healing begins. The door finally opens, but nothing changes all at once. Oliver crosses the threshold the way all wounded things do, slowly, expecting nothing. One paw first, then another. His body remains low, as if the house itself might change its mind and swallow him whole. The floor is warmer than the yard, but he does not trust warmth. Warmth has disappeared before. He pauses, listening, memorizing the new language of this place, the tick of the clock, the distant hum of the heater, the soft, uneven breathing of a home that hasn't known peace in a long time. No one moves. Claire stands still, hands at her sides, afraid that even the smallest gesture might undo this fragile crossing. She does not kneel, does not speak. This is her quiet surrender. Not dramatic, not emotional, just complete. For once, she does not try to manage the moment. She lets it unfold without interference. Oliver takes another step. Inside the house, the air seems to rearrange itself around him. It's subtle, almost imperceptible, but real, as if the walls register that something living has entered with no agenda other than to exist. Lily watches from the hallway, heart pounding so loudly she's certain it must echo. She doesn't rush forward. She doesn't smile. Her relief is guarded, careful, wrapped in disbelief. This feels too gentle to be permanent. She has learned that joy announces itself quietly before leaving. Oliver sniffs the air near the door frame, then the edge of the rug. He flinches at a distant sound, the pipes settling, but does not retreat. He is mapping the space, learning where he might be allowed to stand without being asked to leave. He does not belong here. Not yet. But he stays. Claire notices something unexpected as she watches him. The absence of fear in herself. There is no sudden panic, no instinct to correct or contain. Just a stillness that feels earned. She realizes that she is tired of resisting softness, tired of pretending that avoidance is strength. Oliver moves farther in, then stops again, as if checking an invisible line. He looks back once, briefly. Not at Claire, not at Lily, but at the door behind him. The cold waits on the other side, patient as ever. He chooses not to return to it. Lily exhales. It's barely a sound, but it feels like months leaving her lungs. She sinks onto the bottom stair, arms wrapped around herself, eyes burning. This is not happiness, not the kind she remembers from before. This is something quieter, something steadier, relief without celebration. Oliver wanders toward the living room, paws silent. He pauses near the couch, then under the table, finding corners where shadows feel safer than light. He does not demand attention. He does not seek affection. His presence is humble, almost apologetic. Claire feels her chest tighten. This is what makes it unbearable. He is not here to replace anything, not her husband, not Lily's father. He is not a symbol or a solution. He is simply a life that chose not to leave when it was told it could not stay. The house begins to adjust, not in grand ways. No laughter fills the rooms, no music plays, but something shifts in the rhythm. The silence becomes less sharp, the emptiness less accusatory. The rooms no longer feel like they're waiting for someone who will never come back. Later that night, Lily places a small bowl of water near the wall, careful not to draw attention to herself. Oliver notices but does not approach immediately. Trust is something he handles slowly. Claire watches this exchange and understands finally that healing does not arrive with permission. It arrives when resistance loosens. She sits on the couch, exhausted in a way that feels honest. For the first time in a long while, she does not feel like she is failing at grief. She feels like she is learning how to live beside it. Oliver curls up near the heater, close enough to feel warmth. far enough to escape if needed. He closes his eyes but keeps his ears alert. Even in rest, he is prepared to leave. But the house does not push him out. It breathes around him. The night settles in gently, wrapping the home in quiet. 3 hearts, all guarded in different ways, begin to share a single space. No promises are made. No declarations spoken. Oliver does not belong, but he stays. And sometimes staying is the bravest thing a heart can do. As winter settles in fully, the true impact of Oliver's presence begins to surface. Winter arrives without asking permission. It settles over Madison slowly, the way grief once did. First a chill in the mornings, then breath turning visible, then nights that seem to stretch longer than they should. Snow comes quietly, layering the yard in white, erasing old footprints and leaving only the present behind. Inside the house, something different is happening. Oliver does not announce himself as the center of it. He never would. He simply exists, moving from room to room, curling into warm places, appearing where silence once grew too loud. His presence becomes a kind of punctuation mark in their days. A pause, a breath. Lily changes first, not suddenly, not dramatically, but the sharp edges soften. The school calls stop coming. Her teachers notice she listens more than she speaks now. At home, the slammed doors disappear. She spends evenings on the floor, homework spread out, Oliver nearby. Not touching, just close enough to be real. Sometimes she talks to him. About nothing important. About everything. Oliver listens in the way only animals do, with his whole body, without judgment, without interruption. He does not try to fix her sadness. He does not recoil from it. He stays. Claire watches this with a quiet ache in her chest. At first, she keeps her distance. Old habits cling tightly. She tells herself she is observing, not participating, protecting herself from hope, from the risk of needing something again. But winter has a way of narrowing life down to what truly matters. There are mornings when Claire finds Oliver sitting by the window, snow falling beyond the glass, Lily still asleep upstairs. The cat's reflection stares back at him, black against white, perfectly still. Claire pours her coffee and sits nearby, saying nothing. Eventually, Oliver glances at her, just once. And in that brief look, Claire feels something crack, not break, but open. She starts sitting on the couch in the evenings instead of retreating to her room. Lily joins her sometimes. They don't force conversation. They let silence exist without interpreting it as failure. Oliver moves between them like a quiet mediator, choosing a spot on the rug where both are within reach. He becomes the center of their shared orbit, not demanding attention, just anchoring the moment. There are nights when the 3 of them exist in the same space without tension, without memory clawing at the walls. The absence of the father is still there, but it no longer dominates the room. It feels acknowledged, respected, no longer avoided. Claire begins to understand something she resisted for too long. Love did not leave with her husband. It only changed shape. One evening, during the coldest week of winter, the power flickers. The house goes dark for a moment, then still. Lily stiffens instinctively, old fear rising fast. Before Claire can speak, Oliver stands and walks toward Lily, pressing his small body against her leg, grounding her. Claire sees it clearly then, not as symbolism, not as metaphor, but as truth. This cat is not a distraction from grief. He is teaching them how to stay present inside it. Claire sits closer to her daughter. Their shoulders touch, awkward at first, then natural. Lily doesn't pull away. They don't talk about the past. They don't make promises about the future. They simply sit together, listening to the house breathe, feeling warmth return where cold once lived. The days find a new rhythm. Morning feedings, shared glances, the sound of paws moving across the floor. Oliver sleeping in places that would have felt impossible weeks ago. On the couch, near Lily's bed, once even beside Claire's feet as she reads. The home begins to feel inhabited again. Not repaired, not restored, but lived in. Claire laughs one afternoon, soft, surprised by the sound of it. Lily looks up, startled, then smiles. It's small, tentative, but real. Oliver opens one eye, unimpressed by human emotion, then closes it again. Winter continues outside, relentless and cold. Inside, something holds. Not joy in its loudest form, not healing as an event, but presence, consistency, care that doesn't demand recognition. Oliver remains at the center of it all, not because he tries, but because he never leaves. And in that constancy, a broken home relearns how to stand. What remains is not a miracle, but something quieter and stronger. The day is ordinary. That is the miracle of it. Morning light enters the kitchen the same way it always has, pale and careful, touching the table before anything else. The coffee maker hums. A spoon taps softly against a mug. Outside, the snow has begun to thin, retreating in quiet patches that reveal the tired grass beneath. Oliver sits on the windowsill, awake, but unbothered. He watches a bird land and leave again. He does not chase. He has learned which things stay and which do not, and he does not waste energy arguing with reality. Lily comes downstairs without being called. She grabs toast, forgets her phone on the counter, then comes back for it with a smile she doesn't realize she's wearing. Oliver brushes past her ankle. She pauses, lets him pass. No urgency, no desperation, just familiarity. Claire watches this from the sink. She looks older than she did a season ago, but steadier too. Grief still lives in her. It always will, but it no longer occupies every room at once. It has a place now, a chair in the corner, a presence that is acknowledged, not obeyed. She and Lily speak more easily these days. Not constantly, not perfectly. They still misunderstand each other. They still retreat sometimes, but they return. That is new. Oliver has not fixed them. He never could. He has simply stayed long enough for them to notice what staying does. He sleeps where he wants. Sometimes near Lily's door, sometimes in the warm patch of sun by the couch, sometimes alone, because independence matters to him. No one takes it personally. Claire has learned to allow closeness without clinging. Lily has learned to accept care without suspicion. Neither of them would say this out loud, but both of them know the truth. Healing did not arrive as a grand moment. It arrived as repetition. Food placed in a bowl, a door left open. A quiet presence that didn't demand explanations. Oliver stretches, jumps down from the sill, and walks into the next room. The house adjusts around him. Not because it must, but because it can. Life moves forward like this now. Not lighter, exactly, but steadier. Softer in the places that once hurt to touch. Grief remains, but it no longer defines the home. It is part of the story, not the ending. Claire reaches for her coat. Lily grabs her backpack. Oliver watches them leave, untroubled, certain they will return. He curls into sleep as the door closes behind them, not as a symbol of loss, but of trust. Some bonds are loud, others are quiet enough to be missed, unless you stay long enough to feel their weight. And if this story found you in a quiet moment, tea cooling beside you, night settling in, know this. There are more stories like this waiting, more quiet bonds, more gentle resilience, more reminders that sometimes healing begins not with fixing, but with staying. Stay with Whiskory a little longer. There is comfort here, in the soft places between words,